The requirements are multifaceted. The spots can be filled with ninja from Genin to Anbu members. Tsunade starts and looks to the clan heads. Lord Ieyasu is seeking individuals with unique abilities that can complement others within. This isn't about sheer power but specialized talents that offer strategic advantages. Lastly, a potential for growth, she adds. The clarity of Tsunade's criteria resonates with those present, sparking conversations among Konoha's council about promising Genin and Anbu operatives who fit these descriptions. Considering the significance of leadership and heritage, I believe special consideration should be given to heirs of the great houses of Konoha. In this regard, I recommend my daughter Hinata. Despite her rank as a genin, her adeptness in the gentle fist and her innate ability to exemplify leadership grace under pressure make her a prime candidate, Hayashi states, but many present know this was ploy by the Hyuga to get close to the new Fire Lord. A growl from Sum interrupts Hayashi's pitch of his daughter. Why should Hayashi's snobby daughter get preferential treatment, she challenges, her voice carrying a mix of skepticism and annoyance. The room falls into a tense silence, the question hanging in the air, heavy with implications of clan bias and the complexities of internal village politics. We should also consider Sasuke Uchiha as an heir of the Uchiha clan, Homura says. Sasuke's abilities and his lineage hold potential strategic advantages for the Gotea 13, Koharu adds. Tsunade, with an undercurrent of killer intent that is not to be ignored, clears his throat. Let me make something crystal clear. The Gotea 13 has no place for candidates who rely solely on political clout or the prestige of their lineage. Each candidate will be evaluated based on their individual merits, their combat effectiveness, and their willingness to embrace the responsibilities that will come with being a member of the Gotea 13. Anything less would compromise the integrity and purpose of our mission, she says, laced with an unarguable authority. This pronouncement settled the room's immediate disputes, quieting the voices of Hayashi, Homura, and Koharu, yet it did not deter them from their resolve to champion their choices.
What is the timetable for these members to be chosen? Choza asks. While the tension somewhat eased, but the undercurrent of rivalry and ambition still simmers beneath the surface. Lord Ieyasu has no given set timetable, but the Chunin exams in half a year could be the end goal, Tsunade replies and gets a few murmurs. Her statement underscores their task and compels everyone to focus on the critical objective at hand rather than personal or clan agendas.
Perhaps I can add a suggestion. Why not have Mei, Tenten, and Phantom to observe the recent graduates' Genin teams during their training sessions and upcoming missions? This will provide a first-hand assessment of their capabilities, teamwork, and potential for growth, Hiruzen says. And Tsunade nods. That's a sound strategy. It's critical we understand not just their individual strengths, but how well they work in a team, Tsunade says, glancing to Naruto. He pats Tenten and Mei on the thigh as he rises to his feet. I am weary of revealing of my identity to all of you, but joining the Gotea and aiding Lord Ieyasu would put me in the public eye of place. I do not have fondest memories of, however, if I plan to work with those from Konoha. They will need to know the real me, Naruto says and reaches for his mask. A collective intake of breath fills the room as Naruto's mask comes off. Many who know the fourth would swear his young doppelganger is standing before them. Lord Fourth, Kizashi says. The room stills as the mishap by Kizashi is igniting an array of reactions, while the veterans and the elders of Konoha's hierarchy exchanged loaded glances. Danzo stiffens as Konoha's Jinchuriki is standing before them, but having Minato's name mixed with the boy would have far-reaching implications. The inadvertent slip-up has inadvertently nudged open a Pandora's box of political implications and unspoken fears.
No, Kizashi. He's not Minato. Hiruzen starts and looks each in the eyes. What I reveal was done to protect him from his father's enemies. But Naruto is the son of Minato Namikaze, Aryondaime Hokage, and Kushina Uzumaki, he adds. Kizashi and the merchant clan heads realize that boy has come back. A few of them thought him dead, but now he has returned and is son of their beloved Hokage. They spent years thriving on keeping the blonde in almost penurious conditions, now sit uncomfortably in their seats with their faces a mix of shock and embarrassment. Similarly with the clan heads, who decided to ignore Naruto's plight despite knowing who his parents were.
This council is spending too much time dwelling on past wrongs and the neglect of Naruto Uzumaki, but what more imperatives is where this boy has been, Danzo interjects, his voice sharp and cutting through the heavy air. A murmur runs through the room as many council members shift uncomfortably. It was no open secret that Naruto disappeared from Konoha, with rumors swirling about his whereabouts and activities. Naruto has awakened his mother's bloodline, Tsunade says, and the silence that follows as they digest the information. This newfound power, where does his loyalties lie? He is Konoha's Jinchuriki and has obligations, Danzo says, his voice laced with challenge. And Naruto's eyes narrow? Tsunade's response is calm yet firm and dispels the doubt that Danzo seeks to seed. Naruto's loyalties lie with Fire, Lord Ieyasu. Also, before Naruto left, he was not officially recognized as a Konoha ninja. The bonds of allegiance that bind our shinobi are not his to bear. He found his calling outside of Konoha, she says and looks to him with a nod. Naruto's eyes become to eye glow a haunting purple, a visual testament to the power he wields as the Shadow Monarch. Come out, Naruto says. An inky black aura seems to seep out from under the ground beneath him, shadows twisting and writhing as though alive. The clan heads, elders, merchant clan heads, and even Hiruzen watch in shock, unable to move or speak as the air around them is thick with the weight of unspoken power, as 12 shadow soldiers appear. This is only a small portion of the army, Naruto says, his eyes staring directing at Danzo. Tsume leans over to whisper to Hayashi with a smirk. It's almost like witnessing Kushina's shadow army all over again. There's that same unsettling power, but with her pup, it feels even more vast, she whispers. But Hayashi says nothing. Why should Konoha ninja leave their home, Danzo says, always scrutinizing and never breaking eye contact with the blonde. Naruto points directly at Tsunade with his eyes beginning to dim back into their blue hue. The gaudy 13 is no different than the former 12 ninja guardian. Tell me, elder, do you not want Konoha ninja to serve their daimyo in other capacities, he says, and moves his index finger up to make a circle. Let's turn the question you asked back around to you, elder. Where do your loyalties lie? With Konoha or with your own ambitions, he adds. The room tenses at Naruto's direct challenge to Danzo, eyes flickering between the two figures. Danzo's face remains unreadable, but there was a spark of something like anger, or maybe a small respect in his gaze. It is clear Naruto has struck a nerve within Danzo, daring to question his allegiance so openly. Your words are bold, Danzo says. Naruto. Enough, Tsunade interjects. Naruto returns his seat between Mei and Tenten, leaving a lingering sense of anticipation in the air as Naruto's confrontation with Danzo has set a definitive tone. Hiruzen bangs his gavel to draw attention back to him. I will call this meeting to an end. I urge you to inform members of your clans about the offer of the Gaudy 13. I will inform Anbu and Shikaku our Jonin, he says. The council members begin to leave with Danzo leading the pack, but a few gazes linger on him, but his honed perceptiveness notices the subtle shifts in their postures, and the exchanged glances laden with unspoken thoughts. I can guarantee by tomorrow all of Konoha will know their demon child is back, Naruto thought. Naruto, Hiruzen says, and the blonde shoots him a cold look. You! Tenten and Mei can meet the rookie teams 7, 8, and 10 at Training Grounds 3. 7 and 19, he adds. Sensei is right. Observe them. Introduce yourselves if you wish, Tsunade says. Naruto slips his mask back onto his face and salutes with a slam of his fist to his chest as Mei and Tenten do the same before excusing themselves. What an intense meeting, Tenten says, as they make their way down the tower. I agree. I thought Naruto would kill that elder, but directly challenging him. Mei comments. How do you want to tackle these genin teams? Naruto says, changing the subject. 3 teams. 3 of us. We each take 1 10-10, says, but cups her chin in thought. Though who gets who, she adds. Naruto raises his right fist and Tenten smirks. Janken, it is she, says. The three reach the base of the tower and play their game of Janken, with Naruto winning first with rock against Mei's scissors. Tenten wins with paper against Naruto's rock and beats Mei's paper with scissors. I'll take Team 8. Mei, Team 10 says. Team 7. For me, Naruto says, and the three vanish to find their teams. And speaking. Summon. Bijou. Shadow Soldier. Pause. Long pause. Yanghanan. Disclaimer. I own nothing. Chappie 6. Land of Fire. Konohagakure no Sato. Naruto hops along the roofs in search of Training Ground 3 to find Team 7 and observe them for their possible recruitment. The village seems relatively the same as he remembers, with no major changes. Perhaps a stop at Ichiraku. Once I'm done, Naruto muses, before using Shunshin no Jutsu to hasten his arrival. He reaches the training ground and erases his presence with stealth, finding a high tree having wide branch to see 3 genin milling about, but not just any 3 genin, causing Naruto to nearly let a curse slip from his mouth. Hinata, Hyuga, Kizashi Haruno's daughter, Sakura, and Sasuke Mikoto says, coming from Naruto's shadow to peer at her near-adult son. How are you going to test them? Chibi Zabuza cuts in, his voice low and curious. Naruto's eyes glow purple behind his mask as raises Winter, Blue's mom or Iga, Fugaku or Greed, and Zabuza himself as the 4 head for Team 7. In the clearing, Team 7 were waiting for their sensei Kakashi Hatake. First is Sasuke Uchiha and Rookie Genin of the year, but also the last, loyal Uchiha, after his older sister slaughtered everyone.
Where is Kakashi? Sasuke says, his tone laced with annoyance. His second teammate is Hinata Hyuga and Kunoichi of the year, but also uncontested heiress of the Hyuga, brutally stamping out competition from her younger sister Hanabi.
He's at least 2 hours late today, Hinata says. Her voice carries a calm demeanor and belying the fierce competitiveness she harbors within. The last of Team 7 is Sakura Haruno, and daughter of a merchant clan leader, second to Hinata in final ranking at the academy, but a devout worshipper of Sasuke. What is that? Sakura exclaims, her eyes widening at the sight of unusual creatures. The 3 genin go on guard as a large bear that is 10 feet tall if standing, a humanoid, and a very large wolf made of what look like shadows are charging them. Sasuke quickly weaves signs to Tiger with an inhale to spew a fire towards the beasts, while a thick mist comes from behind them to cloud their senses. Hinata immediately activates her Baikugan. This mist is man-made, she says, looking from right to left. Not bad, Hyuga, but is it good enough? A voice says, ominously and seemingly from everywhere.
What's the plan? Sasuke snaps, glancing between his teammates. Sakura shifts her green eyes from right to left for any movement, steps forward with a little determination in her eyes. We stick together. Whatever is, they're testing us. Let's show them we're not just any genin, she says, and Hinata nods in agreement. Right, Sakura. Sasuke, cover me and I'll try to find the source of this mist, Hinata says, but as they ready themselves to move together, a palpable bloodlust fills the air and paralyzes them in their tracks, while Zabuza's aura unfurls like a tangible shadow and chilling the very air they breathe.
Impressive determination. Wannabe Zabuza's voice booms from the mist and laced with an eerie coldness, but the battlefield cares not for words. Let's see how you handle true fear, he adds, circling around them with Iga. Sasuke's eyes narrow with the weight of the moment drawing his Sharingan to the surface. Fear isn't in my vocabulary, he retorts, though his voice slightly betrays the effort it takes to remain defiant. Hinata is, while visibly shaken, but manages to stay defiant. Our wills are stronger than any fear, she says as her Baikugan flares brighter, attempting to see through the mist and the paralyzing fear. Sakura clenches her fists as her resolve is cracking like tempered glass. We won't back down. Not now. Not ever, she states, the fear in her voice washed away by a minor surge of determination to impress Sasuke. Like I said, words aren't enough, Zabuza says, laughing deeply. From the mist, winter hurls itself at them with silent ferocity, only to vanish before they can land a hit as they toss kunai or shuriken. Iga darts around to nip at their heels, a ghostly terror that refuses to be caught. Reed strikes with precision at his son amidst the chaos, a daunting opponent that seems to appear and disappear at will, and challenging them directly in a whisper that promises no mercy. Not bad so far, but are you three? Even real ninja. Seems raising the age to 18 has made newbies soft, Zabuza says, and strikes Sasuke from behind. How do you expect to survive in the real world, he adds with disdain thick in his voice, emphasizing his doubt in their abilities. Sasuke slightly staggers by the sudden attack, but regains his composure and eyes narrowing to find his foe. Underestimating us just because we're young is a mistake, he retorts, his voice cool but filled with determination. Naruto watches from his tree, with his legs dangling, and drops his stealth. Are you upset, Aunt Miko? He thought, the smugness evident even without seeing his face. I don't know him. He was a sweet boy, but greed corrupted him, Mikoto says, her voice tinged with venom, as she hisses Fugaku's new name. Naruto is about to reply, when suddenly a kunai presses against his back of his neck, courtesy of Kakashi and his father's trained dog. Who are you? Kakashi says, his voice cool but filled with a deadly calm. I'm sure the Hokage told you, Naruto says, his voice confident but almost casual, breaking down into an unkindness of ravens towards Kakashi's team, and the copy ninja follows. Naruto lands outside the mist as he pulls out a silver pocket watch from his pocket, engraved with the Fire Country symbol as Kakashi arrives. This is my proof. I'm Phantom of the Gotai. I'm observing you and your team, Naruto says, not even looking back at Kakashi. Those summons, they look like, Kakashi says, seeing Winter and Iga. Naruto turns his masked face to his former Anbu minder. Careful. I do not wish to spoil things, Naruto says, a finger theatrically pressed to his mask's lips. What do you need, observe? Konoha's shinobi, Kakashi asks, slightly unnerved yet intrigued. Naruto has Zabuza dispel the mist before dismissing him and others to see Team 7 rattled but alive. Fire Lord Ieyasu. Naruto starts before Sasuke interrupts. Who are you? Sasuke says, seeing the masked Naruto with Ieyasu.
Who is but the function following the function of what, and what I am is a man in a mask, Naruto says, his voice curiously playful under the circumstances.
We can see that, Sakura says, unable to hide her confusion and siding with Sasuke's line of inquiry. Of course you can. I'm not questioning your powers of observation. I'm merely remarking on the paradox of asking a masked person who they are. Do you ask Anbu who they are behind the mask, Naruto states, his tone making it clear he's enjoying this more than he probably should. You are not an Anbu, Hinata questions, her eyes narrowed slightly in suspicion and curiosity towards the masked figure. Naruto pockets his hands with a slow tilt of his head. You are correct, Hinata, Hyuga. Though my fate was not meant for here as a nothing but as phantom, he says, tempted to remove his mask right then and there but decides against it for the moment. Here, Sasuke questions, skepticism lacing his tone.
If you weren't told by your parents or guardian, I was sent along with Lady Tsunade Senju and 2 others to access Konoha Ninja Force from Genin to Anbu for Fire Lord Ieyasu's newly formed Gote 13. Naruto explains and purposely ignores Sasuke but raises 3 fingers. The group is comprised of 6 samurai and 6 ninja. Though 3 positions are already filled, he adds.
And you're choosing? Sasuke, Sakura says instinctively, a tinge of protectiveness in her voice, but Naruto scoffs and shakes his head.
If it were up to me, no. Though I will quote Lady Tsunade, and that is, the Gote 13 has no place for candidates who rely solely on political clout or the prestige of their lineage. Each candidate will be evaluated based on their individual merits. Their combat effectiveness and their willingness to embrace the responsibilities that will come with being a member of the Gote 13. Anything less would compromise the integrity and purpose of our mission, Naruto explains and looks to Kakashi. Even your sensei is being evaluated. Now due to the luck of the draw I will be observing your team, he adds, leaving the members of Team 7 to absorb the weight of his words.
Well, my team and I will taking our first C-rank mission. Would you be willing to accompany us, Kakashi asks, a light-hearted note in his voice, despite the gravity of Naruto's earlier words. Naruto sighs with a slow nod, and the weight of responsibility momentarily shadowing the headache forming. I will accompany you, he agrees, but his voice taking on a more serious tone. But remember, this mission is not just about completing your objectives. It's an opportunity to prove yourselves worthy of the Gote 13. Each of you will be assessed, and that including you, Kakashi Hatake, the blonde says, his hidden eyes on Kakashi.
Understood. It'll be an excellent chance for my team to show their skills, Kakashi says, singular visible eye crinkles up as if smiling.
We'll show you and the Gote 13 our determination, but especially why you need to choose, Sasuke, Sakura says. And Naruto internally groans.
Just watch, Sasuke says, already considering how best to demonstrate his capabilities. Hinata remains quiet but gives Naruto a curt nod as her thoughts were his words about his fate. Could this phantom be originally from Konoha, she thought, and stares at his blonde hair.
Renenhan. Deep underneath, Konoha Danzo is sitting in his office digesting the recent events as of late, with Fu and Torun flanking him. Curse that boy. He strolls back into Konoha after abandoning it, Danzo says, his voice laced with a blend of disgust and grudging respect. Fu leans forward slightly as the ever-observer, Lord Danzo. May I speak freely, he asks, his tone careful yet curious, and Danzo nods with a sharp gaze. It's not just him, the Gote 13 created by the new Fire Lord Ieyasu Oda. Naruto Uzumaki and his companions. They represent a power unlike any Konoha has seen. His return could change the balance of power in the village. Perhaps even in the shinobi world, Fu continues, eyes thoughtful.
He's not the boy we remember. His powers have grown beyond our understanding, Torun adds, being more direct. Danzo's eyes, his real one and his one hidden beneath a bandage, gleam with a mix of interest and scheming. Indeed, Naruto Uzumaki has inherited his mother's unpredictability. And now with Fire Lord Ieyasu at his back and tales of his rise as Phantom. He's a piece on the board we cannot ignore, he says, gripping his cane.
And his companions. Tenten Higurashi left the village some time after Uzumaki, with her coming under the umbrella of Tsunade Senju, and this Mei Terumi. She is a foreigner, Torune continues, and Danzo rests his chin on his left hand. Our village is at a crossroads. Lord Ieyasu's Gote 13's presence in Konoha is an opportunity. And a threat, Danzo says, scheming with a ghost of emotion on his face. What shall we do? Lord Danzo Fu asks, understanding dawning. Danzo stands and turns to look at a map of the shinobi world spread out on the wall. For now, we watch and wait. Naruto Uzumaki's actions will speak volumes about his intent. And as for the Gote 13's desire to recruit from our ranks, we need to see how this plays into our advantages, he says, thinking of calling in a few favors. We move in the shadows. For the greater good of Konoha, Torun says, a hint of irony in his tone. Yes, and if needed, we will strike from it. For Konoha and for its future, Danzo says, his gaze still on the map. Meanwhile, Tsunade is sitting in the mission hall and looking over mission requests, but also personnel files of a particular ninja, Yakumo Kurama. Genin of Team 8, heiress of Kurama clan, and holder of the Maniakeki Genkai. Capable of making genjutsu real enough to affect reality. Apprentice to Kurenai Yuhi. Yet her physical frailty remains a concern, she thought, putting the file aside and picks up another.
Ino Yamanaka of TEAM 10. Nothing outwardly special but malleable. Same with her teammate Shikamaru Nara. Nara are typically unmotivated, but their minds Analytical machines, Tsunade thought, reflecting a mix of skepticism and interest.
Anko Mitarashi, Tokubetsu Jonin and former apprentice of Orochimaru. Despite the shadows of her past, her skills remain top-notch. Yet it's clear that elements within Konoha have kept her stifled Tsunade thought. Looking up to see Naruto coming with Team 7, and his stance shows he is not happy.
TEAM 7 for AC rank mission, Kakashi says, to Iruka as Naruto walks towards Tsunade.
Having fun, Tsunade says, almost teasing her fellow blonde. Very much so, Naruto says, ruffling his hair, and an irritated smirk on hidden face. How's Team 7? Tsunade asks, glancing to the three. A little arrogant. Though they don't know who I really am, Naruto says, leaning close to her with a conspiratorial whisper. Will you take it off? Tsunade asks with her curiosity. Piqued, and Naruto slowly nods. Be ready, she adds, and Naruto waves his hand dismissively.
Phantom, our mission is a simple escort mission to Nami no Kuni. We'll meet at the main gate in 1 hour with the clients, Kakashi says, a hint of laid-back ease in his voice.
Right. I'll meet you there, Naruto says and looks to the team. One more thing. I'm weary to do this, but given that by tonight most of this village will know who I am, he adds, reaching for his mask and revealing his face. The response from Team 7 is almost immediate, each uniquely striking in its form as the cold and arrogant Hyuga heiress has a flicker of surprise traces across her usually impassive face. Uzumaki. To think someone like you could try overturn destiny itself, Hinata utters, her voice not betraying the shock that her eyes do. Sasuke's reaction harbors a colder edge, and his anger barely contained. So, you the dead last is Phantom. Surely you jest, he says, his eyes narrowing and not willing to easily accept this revelation. Sakura is caught between disbelief and a burgeoning understanding, but struggles to articulate her thought. This can't be. Are we certain there hasn't been some mistake, she asks, looking from Tsunade to Naruto and back again. This is no mistake. Naruto Uzumaki is Phantom and a member of the Gotei 13 chosen by Fire Lord Ieyasu Oda. His skills have been proven in the field unlike yours, Tsunade says, defending Naruto. Believe what you want, but right now I sit at a higher level than you. I'll meet you at the gate. Kakashi Naruto says with a nod to Tsunade, heading out the mission hall. Now we'll see, Brat Zabuza comments, his voice laced with both skepticism and an unspoken interest. Naruto reaches the outside and summons Branwen with another raven to find his girls. Let them know I'm leaving on a mission, he instructs, giving both a piece of bread from a seal.
We'll find, Bronwyn confirms before she and her sibling take to the skies. Naruto shunsons to the Senju estate and changes into his Gotei uniform before heading for Ichiraku for some ramen before leaving. Welcome to Ichi. Ayame starts and sees Naruto but immediately recognizes him. And Naruto, she adds, a mix of surprise and joy lacing her voice. Naruto takes a seat on a stool with a smile and wave. Hey Ayame, he greets warmly and Ayame comes around to hug him tightly.
It's been so long. We didn't know what happened, Ayame says, the concern evident in her voice. I left to grow stronger, Naruto says, as Tucci comes out to see the commotion. Naruto! Tucci exclaims, a big grin spreading across his face. Hey old man Tucci. Hook me up, Naruto says, rubbing Ayame's back. Got it. Come on, Ayame. Our favorite customer is back, Tucci says. The father and daughter begin on Naruto's order as a few people see him, and whisper if that could be that boy, but groan. The first bowl soon comes and the aroma is heavenly for Naruto. The noodles soft, the broth rich and the taste divine. Oh, how I missed you, Naruto coos, his voice a mix of reverence and relief, as he looks down at the steaming bowl before him.
We missed you too, Ayame responds from behind the counter, a playful smile on her face as she watches Naruto prepare to dig in.
I was talking to the ramen, Naruto muses, not looking up from his bowl, and the corners of his mouth turned up in a mischievous grin. Ayame rolls her eyes and almost hits him with her ladle, but she holds back with a small chuckle instead. "Where have you been, Ayame?" asks, curiosity coloring her tone, as Naruto enjoys his ramen. Between bowls, Naruto explains some of his journeys, going to Wave, Uzushio, Water Country, meeting Ayazu, and aiding him in his victory over Nabutatsu. "Excuse me, sir, but you mentioned Wave. Do you remember when a man at another stool interjects?" His voice hesitant as if unsure he should be intruding on the conversation. Naruto looks his way, vaguely recognizes him, but Makoto does. "That is man that was being beaten," Kaiza, she says from his shadow. Kaiza, Naruto says, recognition on his face. Kaiza's eyes widen, and he looks over Naruto's face more with eyes widening. "Are you him?" Wave's Cage no E. "The one who freed us from Gato," Kaiza says, his voice filled with a mixture of disbelief and awe. "Cage no E. All I did was get rid of Gato." "Who was causing you all trouble?" Naruto replies modestly, scratching his cheek with a hint of embarrassment. "You're still a hero. Though I wonder if you can help once again," Kaiza says, and Naruto furrows his brow. "It's nothing as bad as Gato, but a ship of pirates have been harassing ships in my father's bridge," he adds, hesitance coloring his tone. Naruto picks up his glass of tea and takes a few sips with his thoughts on this. "You seem to have luck on your side again, Kaiza." "I'm heading to Wave 2 with a Konoha Genin team," he says, after placing the glass down.
"Really? Thank you so much. I'll be sure to tell father about this," Kaiza says as gratitude floods his tone before he rushes off, presumably to share the good news with his father.
"You've done good things," Naruto Ayame comments softly, her words wrapping around him like a warm embrace. Naruto turns back to his bowl of ramen with a thin smile. "I guess so," he says, and rubbing the back of his neck, he polishes off 3 more bowls of ramen and pays for it before heading towards the main gate to meet the others. "Summoner." Summoner Branwen calls, landing on Naruto's right shoulder. "Delivered my messages," Naruto says, and Branwen nods her head. "Both say miss you, and be careful," Branwen says, conveying the sentiments of Mei and Tenten. Naruto continues his journey towards the main gate, but could hear a few villagers whispering about him as a few begin to recognize him.
It's only a matter of time, Naruto thought, slipping a cigarette into his mouth but not lighting it. He soon reaches the main gate and sees TEAM-7, Kaiza with his father-in-law Tazuna but no Kakashi. There he is, father. Wave's Cage no Au, Kaiza says, his voice ringing out clear and respectful. Naruto gives Tazuna a small wave as TEAM-7 look at the blonde with a look that seems to look down on him due to their past concerning him.
"My daughter Tsunami and grandson Inari owe their lives to you. Many others as well," Tazuna says, after drinking from his flask. "I only did what was right," Naruto says, a hint of humility in his tone. Sasuke scoffs at Naruto's remark while rolling his eyes. "Doing what's right doesn't always make you a hero," he comments dryly. Sakura is eager to back Sasuke up and adds with a hint of admiration in her voice. "Yeah, but sometimes doing the right thing at the right time makes all the difference," Sakura says, though clearly directed at Sasuke and not Naruto. Tazuna nods and seizes the moment to reminisce. "Maybe, but my country was on the brink of collapse because of Gato. But then one day he's found dead," he says, looking to Naruto. "And I'll tell you, Naruto was like a ghost in the night that saved us all. If that's not heroism, then I don't know what would have happened," Kaiza interjects, his eyes reflecting a mix of respect and mystery. I didn't know that," Sakura says, blinking and her previous disposition softening as she processes the impact of Naruto's actions. "We do what we can, heroes or not. The important thing is to make a difference where we can," Naruto says, simply shrugging. 10 minutes later, Kakashi arrives, and the group can begin their trek at a civilian's pace for Tazuna and Kaiza. "What is Wave like?" Sakura asks, attempting to envision the place that is so profoundly impacted by Naruto's actions. "Wave is a place of contrast, young lady. rich in beauty and generosity among the common folks, yet shadowed by the greed of the few who wish to control it. It's a land that breathes hope and despair in the same breath, Tazuna says, warmly looking over the horizon.
But it's also a testament to the fact that change is possible. Naruto saved our country from collapse, but I hope he will do it again if needed, Kazuya adds, agreeing with Tazuna, but Kakashi picks up on the again statement.
Hope and change. Naruto might have done his part, but there are battles even he can't fight alone. It's naive to think one person can keep saving the world, Sasuke says, with a small scoff. While Naruto's victories are celebrated, it's naive to disregard the immovable forces of destiny. Not everything can be conquered with hope. Some battles are lost to fate. A reality many are too blinded by optimism to see, Hinata says, her voice giving of an icy demeanor.
It's true that Naruto has been a beacon of hope and has reshaped many destinies through his actions in Wave. Yet Sasuke and Hinata make valid points. It's a combination of will, circumstance and perhaps fate that shapes our world. But believing in change and working towards it is what keeps us moving forward. Though Kaiza, could you please elaborate on what you mean by hoping Naruto will do it again if needed? Has something happened? Kakashi says, acknowledging each perspective, and Naruto sighs quietly. As of late, pirates are harassing ships around Wave, threatening the livelihood of many, including father-in-law's bridge. It's becoming a critical situation that might need Naruto's attention soon, Kaiza says with a worried tone.
Don't worry about it. I'll handle it, Naruto says, while moving his cigarette from right to left.
My team's primary mission here is to escort Tazuna and Kaiza safely. Dealing with pirates isn't something we were asked to do, Kakashi says, raising a cautious hand.
This, I know, Kakashi. You will handle your mission and I'll deal with the pirates while observing the four of you, Naruto says, hands in his pockets. Sasuke, Sakura and Hinata maintain a loose formation around Tazuna and Kaiza, with Kakashi taking point and Naruto in the rear. The crackle of a freshly lit cigarette breaks the silence, turning all eyes towards Naruto taking a deep drag. Sakura's face twists in disapproval as her voice is shrill with concern. Naruto, how dare you smoke around Sasuke? She screeches, her eyes flicking towards Sasuke to gauge his reaction, with the concern for his health evident in her gaze.
Relax, Sakura, I'm downwind. The smoke won't reach you, Naruto responds, unfazed, with a dismissive wave of his hand and tilt of his head. Kakashi tries to be the mediator and chimes in with a light-hearted tone to seek to ease the tension in the air. Let's keep our focus, team. We have bigger fish to fry than a bit of wind-blown smoke, he said, pulling up his mask slightly as if to emphasize his point before replacing it back over his nose. Sakura glares at Naruto, but her and the team refocus on the task at hand. Chibi Amayuri emerges from his shadow to rest on his head, with her tiny eyes surveying TEAM7 with a mix of amusement and scrutiny. They are coddled, aren't they? She remarks in a voice only audible to Naruto. Very much so, Naruto whispers, smirking at her comment and his eyes glancing upwards towards his small companion. Sakura catches the smirk on Naruto's face as Amayuri vanishes. What's so funny now? She demands, her curiosity piqued yet again by Naruto's enigmatic nature. Just thinking about how everyone has room to grow. Right, Sasuke, Hinata, Kakashi, Naruto replies smoothly, deftly avoiding the truth of his private commentary and expelling a cloud of flavored smoke.
Growth is a never-ending path, Sasuke states, begrudgingly echoing Naruto's sentiment as Hinata remains silent. Indeed, Naruto makes a good point. Let's ensure we all strive for that growth as ninjas, and as individuals, Kakashi says, his visible eye crinkling in amusement. About an hour passes as the group continue their trek to the coast and Tazuna's bridge. The atmosphere within the team has lightened considerably due to Kaiza and Tazuna gushing about Inari. Kakashi is leading the group with a seemingly casual demeanor, but spots a puddle of water on the road ahead. His visible eye narrows slightly under his hitayate, a silent signal that he suspects more than just rainwater at play. That's odd. Wasn't the weather been clear all week? Kakashi muses aloud, more to himself than to his team, but to test his team and also Naruto. Each pass around the puddle, but Naruto walks right over, and as he passes, two men burst from dressed in rebreather with a large claw on the right and left hand respectively, with a shuriken-style chain between them. Without a moment's hesitation, Naruto acts and whips around with Ebony in his hand to fire a precise shoot to break the chain linking them, before using ruler's authority to slam both into the ground. Kakashi, Team 7, Tazuna, and Kaiza were visibly shocked. However, for Sasuke and Hinata, it is anger because the former dead last is showing them up in front of the clients. And Naruto, when did you? Sakura starts, but her shock quickly morphs into annoyance. Are you trying to upstage Sasuke? She shouts, a note of accusation in her tone but mixed with disbelief. It is clear she is torn between being impressed by Naruto's prowess and feeling defensive on behalf of Sasuke, perceiving that his pride taken a hit due to Naruto showcasing his strength. Sasuke's scowl deepens at the sight of Naruto's skill, igniting an ember of rage within him. Show off, he mutters under his breath, his tone laced with of irritation, but his frustration didn't stop. Think, you're better than us now, dead last. Sasuke challenges more loudly, his eyes flashing with a competitive fire. It's not about being better, Sasuke. We're here to protect Tazuna and Kaiza, Naruto says, not facing Sasuke, and this stokes the flames in him. Yeah, right. As if you didn't enjoy this little moment of glory, Sasuke retorts, the words slow and deliberate to clearly goad Naruto. Sasuke, Naruto's actions helped us all. It might be beneficial for us to learn from each other, rather than see it as a competition, Kakashi says, sensing the escalating tension and intervenes smoothly. Sasuke's response is a non-committal huff, though the look he gives Naruto still heated, but it seems Sasuke's anger is tempered by the realization that Naruto's abilities did indeed show some of the blonde's strength, even if admitting it out loud was a step too far for him at the moment. Uzumaki's strength is noted. Hinata remarks coldly. Her tone is clinical and a detached acknowledgement.
Well done, Naruto. Quick thinking and execution. This is an excellent example of how we must always be prepared for the unexpected, Kakashi says, glancing to his team.
Don't get cocky. It was just a couple of low-level thugs, Sasuke says, unwilling to let it go, but the blonde ignores him. Naruto kneels to one knee as both men struggle vainly to move and points Ebony. Who hired you, demon brothers Gozu and Maizu? He asks, each word dripping with a lethal coldness that makes Team 7 and their clients shiver. The demon brothers are visibly shaken by ruler's authority and the palpable danger in Naruto's tone. We were just told to stall you, to not let you reach the bridge. Gozu stutters out through gritted teeth. By who? Naruto says. His demand is sharp and cutting through the tension like a knife. The atmosphere is heavy and everyone's focus narrows to the answer that might slip from the assailant's lips. We won't say. He paid us a lot of money, Maizu says, but Naruto points Ebony to his left eye, his eyes glowing menacingly. Give me a name, Naruto commands, his tone cold as he cocked the hammer of his revolver. Krieg, Maizu shouts, staring down the barrel of Ebony. Thank you, Naruto, said simply, and rises to his feet before pulling the trigger twice, ending the demon brothers with a clinical shots to the head. The stark reality of Naruto's actions settle over Sakura, Sasuke, and even the normally reserved Hinata show visible signs of shock. Sakura's hands fly to her mouth and her eyes wide with disbelief at the cold-blooded display before them. Naruto! How could you? She says as the words were a whisper, trailing off into silence. Sasuke's expression is usually so guarded and controlled, but flicker with an unfamiliar sense of unease. This is not the dead last, I know, he said quietly, more to himself than to anyone else. His eyes remain fixed on Naruto, trying to reconcile this new but unnerving side of their former classmate. The path of the shinobi is indeed fraught with darkness. Hinata murmurs, a hint of sorrow lacing her words, as she watches Naruto with a kind of detached curiosity. The silence that follows is heavy, but gets interrupted only by Naruto's next actions. "Arise," he says, his eyes glowing purple. The bodies of the demon brothers stir as their shadow soldiers rise, but their forms shift and contort, fusing into a single entity with massive and clawed hands. The transformation is grotesque and spellbinding, but eliciting a mixture of fascination and horror from Team 7 as Sakura recoils. "This is monstrous," she says, her horror finally finding its way into her voice.
Such power.